Ebony, let's go ahead and take a look at your writing. Then we'll look at the ad and I'll make some recommendations. But I have a few things I want to address in your writing. Um, the three images I thought were pretty standard spa day images that resonated with the image. Before I imported the images, I adjusted them to my liking. The tools I utilize are vibrance and saturation. That's good. Contrast and brightness, excellent. And the cropping tool mostly. Yes, I played with the hues as well. Excellent. Once I did that, I placed them in Illustrator. I had to use a clipping mask. Yes. Circular shape. It's my favorite part to do when creating the ad and also ad. Yeah, it's a great practice. You're employing really excellent techniques here, so this is fantastic. You're showing that you have a pretty advanced understanding of image adjustments as they relate to the general message and the visual demeanor of the piece. So that's excellent. But let me see. Oh, I added a noise filter to the images. I'm not real sure why you would want to add grain and a noise filter to the images. So maybe you can clarify that. I want to talk about the images also, and several things I want to talk about in the ad itself. So that one, most part, is my Process Magazine at Rough. I'm proud of how it turned out, though I am open-ended criticism. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, I've got it open in another file so we can kind of take a concentrated look at it. Oops, didn't want to do that, but what I did. Okay, I'm not real sure. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, so let's just go ahead and come on. There we go. All right, that's what I'm going for. Okay, so the first thing I see is that the images themselves, I was a little concerned. Let me show you where I came up with this. So I looked at your file, right? And I see that the file is, whoops, that's not yours. I am so sorry about that. Here we are right here. So I looked at your file and you're at 882.72 kilobytes. That, before I even opened anything, that indicated to me that you're using low resolution images. So what I did is I came over here because to compile 1, 2, 3, 4 images in a composition and have it under 1,000 kilobytes, that is definitely pointing to low resolution images. So all of these images are going to have to be replaced. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, and we can already start seeing, see all those little squares? Look how poor the image quality is when we zoom in. It's really bad quality. We can see it here. We can also see it in these images. See those little squares? Those are all pixels. This is called pixelization. It's indicative of a low resolution, poor quality images. See, we can see it here and here as well. So my recommendation is to definitely change these to high quality, high resolution 300 ppi images that don't show any evidence of pixelization or image compression artifact or blurriness when zoomed in. Now, if you go over to the course announcements, there's a specific announcement dedicated to this, and I even have images, and it's right here. It's actually within this announcement, week 1, checking in. Can I change a 72 ppi to 300 ppi? Pixelization and compression artifact. So you want to take a look at this video. You want to read this article and you want to take a look at these images so you know how to spot and recognize compression artifact, blurriness, and pixelization. Okay, so we need to replace all of the images. Now, right now, honestly, another thing is the logo has been distorted. Let me give you an example here to illustrate the distortion in the logo, and I can do so by opening this document right here, and that opens. I can go ahead and let's get rid of that. And okay, there is the logo right there, but that's not the one you've used. You have used the grayscale. That logo right there, I think, is what you used. Yes. So if you take a look at the shape of the logo here, the logo mark, and then take a look at the shape here, we can see that this is taller and skinnier. And that indicates to me that that has been distorted. To me, it looks like you have likely placed this logo and then resized it. And then when you resize it, of course, you select the logo, grab the corner bounding box and resize it, right? But hold your shift key down when you do that. That'll constrain the original proportions and prevent any distortions as we see here. I think this configuration is a little busy. One thing we don't have here is the masked image from assignment 2-1. Remember, that is required here. Another thing I can see is the type is not following the required type. It's Arial bold for the headline, Arial bold italic for the subhead, and Arial regular for the body copy. As I was saying, I think the whole configuration, I think it's really, really busy. I mean, you're asking the viewer, now watch my cursor, because this is how I'm following this. See the background image, right? So we start here, then we go up to the logo, then we come down here, then we bounce over here, come down here, bounce back over here. Look at the girl, come back down, bounce over here, come back here. And then we're just kind of hovering over here. So there's a lot of this, the eyes moving around like this. I want you to contrast that with some of the examples in the course announcements. And we can watch the eye flow. Remember your eye flows like this, boop, 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 right? Look at the eye flow here. We start here, and we just kind of move right down the line. We start with the image, then we look at this image, then we start here and move right down the line. Over here, same thing. We look at the image, we start here, move right down the line, and then we look at the logo before we leave the page. So as you can see, there's none of this kind of bup, 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 bup. That's why I recommend this formula. Background image, headline, subhead, paragraph of body copy, masked image, location, logo. Okay, so try to follow that, which means that you might have to eliminate some of these images and make some other, well, you're going to have to eliminate these images anyways because these are seemingly low resolution images. The other thing is your type is in boxes. You don't want to place type in boxes. It's really something that we see a lot of inexperienced designers do. So we don't want to place it. As we can see in the examples, the type is assembled right over the image. It creates a wonderful synergy between type and image and creates wonderful page harmony as opposed to creating these separations. This box actually separates that text from the composition. So does this, and actually so does this, placing the logo in this color bar at the top. It actually makes a separation. We want to incorporate elements, not draw separation. My final comment has to do with the bleed. These white little slivers around the four margins, that they're white because it indicates to me that the bleed has not been applied. Okay, so you want to definitely apply the bleed. Now, once again, I just want to reinforce the fact that everything is covered in these videos, right? Everything. So if you go back here, you can learn also. So here's these assignments for assignment 1 show you how to make your image adjustments. And assignment 2, I show you how to, let's see. Oh, by the way, if you need tutorial help, that's a great announcement right there. Take a look at that. Then here's more on image adjustments, checking in. There's some tips in that video. Then over here, there's compression artifacts, a bunch of tips in that video. Then over here, I have in module 2, we've got this how to complete assignment 2, how to mask. What I'm getting at is this right over here. It should be in, here it is. It's in this how to complete milestone 1. So if you take a look at this announcement and take a look at this video, this shows you exactly step by step, blow by blow, how to assemble your ad using that configuration that I just went over in the course announcements. So those are my recommendations. I know I've given a lot here to you, but those are my recommendations, and I would like to see those changes reflected in your final submission. Now, the campaign is due during week 7, so time is definitely running out here. My recommendation is to make these changes and get this back to me as soon as you can. I'll be in Sunday. Typically I take Saturdays off. But I check in early Saturday morning to see if there's anything I need to address. So my point by there is saying that if you want to resubmit to this critique board, have at it, and I'll go ahead and make comments there. But if you happen not to finish it in time by Monday and you can't post here, then what you can do is just post it in the general questions area of the discussion board. I'll be glad to see it there and make additional comments. You can always email it to me, and we'll take a look at it therein. Okay? All right, so those are my recommendations. And if you have any questions or if I can clarify anything I've said in the last 10 minutes in this video, please let me know and I'll be more than glad to do so. Okay, Ebony, thank you very much.